Julie is our contact person for North Dunedin and the Causeway, and a very good friend of the Royal Stewart Arms community. So thank you for coming, Julie.
Glad to be here.
Next, welcome Art Finn. Art is Superintendent of Parks for the City of Dunedin. As you can tell, Art's a very busy person. You see him on the trail, you see him at Arbor Day celebrations. He's rarely without his floppy hat. If he didn't wear that hat, I would never recognize him. And Art's been called on a number of times out here at RSA for consultation, and we appreciate your cooperation, Art. Thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody knows our property manager, Sharon Wilson. Sharon has been our manager now for 3 years. Is an advocate of Florida-friendly landscape and drip irrigation. Since Sharon arrived on the scene, our irrigation costs have dropped dramatically. Now, you won't believe this. In 2006, that's only 2 or 3 years ago, we paid $38,000 for water for irrigation. $38,000. Up to this date, this year, our irrigation is $3,800. All right. Thanks for Sharon. And prudent management and drip irrigation. Next, Al Blaylock. Everybody knows Al. Smile, Al.
So good.
Al is chair of the Neighborhood Enhancement Grant Committee. He's also chair of the Landscape and Irrigation Committee. He's a member of the Specification Committee. Right now, Al has more titles than the library. Get it?
We'll explain it to him later.
And finally, our own Linda Hildebrand, the unofficial co-chair of the Neighborhood Enhancement Committee. Overall right-hand gal. And she's become known as our own garden fairy. Linda Hildebrand. Now, last but not least, I would like to thank all the members of the Garden Club and all the volunteers that worked on this project. They moved this project from a grant on paper to the beautiful garden that you see today. I also want to remind you that the Garden Club has been responsible over the years for all of the garden areas on the common property. So to the Garden Club and their volunteers, a huge before we get into the ribbon cutting ceremony, I'd like to refresh your memory. I've got a chronological listing of the things that have happened in the last 2 years. And incidentally, it was about 2 years ago that we started this project. In March of 2007, encouraged by our property manager, Sharon Wilson, a committee of 12 volunteers formed to study the possibility of obtaining